Welcome to bustling Jakarta. Got 48 hours to build a complete everyday carry kit. All I have is my wallet. Let's go. Kicking these off Jaksel, South Jakarta, but not the gated mansions and luxury malls of Pondok Indah, nor the heavy touristy vibes of Kemang, but Bintaro, the kind of neighborhood that just doesn't have a reason to show up on most itineraries. And like so much of Jakarta, an unassuming door in an unassuming complex reveals magic. What I didn't know is that this building is actually their head office, with the retail portion playing second fiddle. And when I entered with no one in sight, I crept halfway up the steps and called out, and was met halfway up the stairs by two on the team who brought me back down to the retail space and were just so helpful. Voyej has been at quiet, deliberate leatherwork for 15 years, and after checking things out, I decided on this piece for this challenge. It's called Shades of Rise, and just look at this. Patchwork rectangles, offcuts from other projects, materials that would otherwise just be waste, assembled into something that looks completely deliberate and beautiful. And a lot of other brands would take this exact concept, call it sustainable, and charge you double for the story, but Voyej just does it quietly and with purpose. Full grain leather, button closure fold out, 4 individual slim card slots, and a large central compartment for stacked cards or cash bills, and priced lower than their other models because of its off-cut base materials. 549,000 IDR, about 30 USD. Insane value for a small batch domestically handmade piece. There's a pattern that this city keeps demonstrating. Constraint and quality are not opposites. The offcut becomes the design, the limitation becomes the strength. All with integrity you can feel, and you'll keep seeing this as we explore the city. But since it was Friday, and since I was already in South Jakarta, I got really lucky with timing, because there's a maker's bazaar that happens twice a year called Artket ID. And as an entrepreneur in making, albeit industrial applications, I just love things like this. So heading from Voyej back to the MRT and riding just one stop to Stasiun Fatmawati, I took the 5-minute walk to a building called Brickhall, and just look at this. Food vendors on the outside, tons of people there to explore makers from all over the 17,000 islands of Indonesia, and I scrambled to pay my 25,000 IDR entry fee, about $1.50 US. And with wristband on, in I went, and just look at all the booths. Crocheted unimpressed octopus, designer vinyl toys, and so much more before our EDC kit. I found this micro business called September Spring, founded and operated by 2 sisters from Semarang in central Java. And what really pulled me in is their sub-brand called Frank Production Company, especially their hilarious mascot. And of course, for our EDC challenge, these mini pouches with built-in anchoring loops and circle beaners. For the purposes of this kit, I've chosen this one. You see, because I travel so much and with exterior anchored pouches as a real travel enhancer for me, these are exactly what I'm looking for. But as for the pouch itself, I love the smooth gliding yet resistant YKK zipper, the lovely hand feel of the exterior, and selfishly, on my days off from my real work abroad, when I decide to film for YouTube, I appreciate this small pocket, perfect for my backup SD card for rapid access. Asking the sisters, since this is such an infrequent locals only event, they share that they can ship to some international countries. And if you're interested in inquiring, like everything else in this video, you can find September Spring linked down in the description. But this pouch right here, 185,000 IDR, about 10 USD. But since I was already in an upward trajectory from the south of the city, I hopped back on the northbound MRT to ride the 4 stops to an area I'm familiar with. And as I rode the 4 stops, I thought about how fast time flies. I mean, 2016 was the first time I came to Jakarta to onboard a new client. And I've been coming twice a year since then, and it was shortly before that first visit, way before I even started this YouTube channel, that I also discovered this segment sponsor, Unbound Merino. The complete system-level transformative switch of my entire traveling life. Because high-quality superfine merino like Unbound uses is what enables true carry-on only travel. Since clothing is where most folks way overpack, and Unbound being naturally odor resisting means that countless travelers, including me, routinely wear the exact same Unbound outfit for a week or more straight without offending people's noses nor ever feeling gross. From the plane to the hotel, to the MRT, to the collaborative work session, to the scooter taxi ride, to the client coffee meeting, to an afternoon chill session, same outfit day after day, it just works. And airing out overnight with its naturally antimicrobial properties maintains lasting freshness and cleanliness between washes. But for me, it's how much money Unbound has saved me. I mean, as someone who sails on at least 20 international flights a year, being able to pack carry-on only means that I never have to pay for checked bag fees, the cheapest of which nowadays are $35 US. In other words, because of Unbound, I save at least $700 every single year against checked baggage fees alone. And best of all, they've been kind enough to let me share a discount off your first order with them, and you can find that secret discount code down in the description below. Thank you so much to Unbound Merino for sponsoring this portion of the video. But stepping off the MRT at Block M station, for this challenge I walked about 10 minutes north to M Block Space to find a store a few locals told me about called Mata Lokal, a curator of homegrown Indonesian micro brands. Before even walking in, they've got outdoor art tables and carts where local artists can run workshops. But dodging that intense Jakarta heat, I entered and just look at this place. Making my way to the corner, I saw this key solution from a small local brand called Create. It's a leather folio for keys, folds flat, eliminates jingle, and yet the leather is so soft to the touch. With built-in carabiner and slim but strong internal keyring, it's a handsome piece, and at 125,000 IDR, about 7 USD, it was a non-decision. I continued looking around and found this, a leather-shelled notebook. And if I'm gonna be really honest, usually when a notebook looks too similar to my beloved traveler's notebook I've been using for almost a decade, I immediately dismiss it as a copycat. However, opening this one up was a whole different story. You see, unlike Create or Voyej, whose focus is leather, McMuir's out of Jakarta is actually a small letterpress company. And as I flipped through inside Mata Lokal, it too was an automatic non-decision to choose one of the 4 included inserts to form the notebook portion of this kit. McMuir's is truly a micro business, and the simple card reads, "Thank you so much for supporting my creative business. You make a difference not just to me, but to my family and community as well." With a sign-off from owner-operator Matur Nuwun. Bonus cotton blend card with a reminder, time is precious, waste it wisely, and this tremendously beautiful letterpressed recipe for a classic Indonesian comfort drink. But I chose these notebook inserts because they feature historical modes of public transportation. Oplet, Bemo, Helicak, but Bajai. One of my favorite modes of transportation, the exact vehicle I was riding at the start of this video, are still found in pockets of the city today. And it's the execution of the letterpress itself and the fantastic tactile paper inside that sealed the deal for me. At 230,000 IDR, about 13 USD for all of this. Now, quick side quest because it was a fascinating discovery, but at the rear of Mata Lokal was a door that reveals a whole separate business, a bookshop, and you literally cannot enter it from the street. And I don't know if that's intentional or just Jakarta being the hidden gem of a city that it is. But this bookshop isn't your typical bookshop. Shelves of tiny run zines and books, written by locals providing social commentary, subculture documentation, and even protest to the establishment, and the one employee did her best to help this idiot foreigner translate what she could. And although I can't read the language, I ended up buying this small collection of zines by a writer who calls herself Magdalena. But this is what I mean. 15,000 IDR each, about 85 cents. I mean, I've been coming to Jakarta for 10 years, and every single time I come, I discover something truly fascinating, just like this bookstore. But with afternoon in full swing, I decided to hop on a scooter taxi over to the next stop. And although shopping malls of gigantic opulence are all over the city, here we are at Senayan City Mall. And to give you context of the high concentration of malls, across the street is the much larger luxury of Plaza Senayan. But I'm headed to the smaller Senayan City Mall because we are here for the wristwatch in this kit. Heading over to a store called Red Army Watches, a shop that sells several watch brands. The watch I'm after is a local Indonesian micro brand called Lima Watch. And after a few try-ons, as a frequent flyer, it made sense to go with the Lima Watch GMT Transit dual time zone watch. I mean, right off the bat, just look at the box. A lovely illustration and long format flat pack. And pulling up the lid reveals the full spec sheet, user guide, and warranty information. But lifting that up, you can see that I went with their teal dial with muted orange accents. And oh man. The movement inside is the Seiko NH34. And looking at this piece on wrist, I like that it has the Indonesian word for automatic, otomatis, as a clear indicator on the dial to remind me of the city I've grown to love over all these years. Just shy of 5 million IDR, but with a full day of exploring the southern half of the city, it was back to the hotel to get some rest and wake up early the next morning because I've just arrived in the Tangerang area and I'm really excited because I always wanted a karambit. But wait, if you don't know, a karambit is a tool knife originating in West Sumatra as a farmer's blade. Traditionally, they're really curved blades, great for raking roots or harvesting rice. But nowadays, in Jakarta, you'll really only find them in way overpriced tourist trap stores. And although they look kinda nice, the blades themselves are hot trash, purely decorative. I reached out to Penang Workshop on WhatsApp and commissioned my own custom piece about 3 weeks before I arrived in Jakarta. We found the alley. We're gonna walk down it right now. There it is. And here he is. This is Bang Is, owner of Penang Workshop, and you gotta check out this space. I mean, like so much of what you've seen already, it's such an unassuming building and such an unassuming alley fed from such an unassuming street. And yet, hidden inside, ultra premium blade stuff. I mean, look, M390, N690, LMAX, freaking Vanax. But even the best steel doesn't matter if you don't know how to work it. And Bangis and his family and small crew know how to work the hell out of these steels. But I was after that specific item I ordered, and one of his team members asked if I wanted my name on the blade, which Come on now. And so, to the laser, validated the positioning, and away it went to solidify this piece as a true one of one. But let's take a look at the piece. First, like you saw earlier, traditional karambits as rice farming tools are super curved. I requested a much more modest curve, much more suitable for camping trips back home in Canada. Next, as someone who loves OD green, that was my only request for the scales, leaving creative freedom to Maurice. And I'm overjoyed. Scalloped, rock patterned micarta scales on the handle, yet perfectly supporting that 3.5-inch razor sharp M390 blade. With the final oiling to clean it, it was both time to officially receive it and of course to pay. 2.5 million IDR, or about 140 USD. Unfreaking believable value for a custom handmade piece with an M390 foundation. But okay, morning trek to get the knife done, it's time to head to the second stop of the day, LTC Glodok, or Lindetevis Trade Center, my favorite mall on earth, and I use air quotes because it's not a mall in the way that you think. It's purely industrial, and as I show you around, Jakarta's full of TCs, trade centers, which are buildings the size of mid-range malls subdivided into hundreds of small independent businesses, each one servicing a single hyper-focused niche within that building's core industry. There are trade centers in Jakarta for fabric, hardware, optics, beauty, automotive. They are the physical infrastructure of small business at scale I have never encountered anywhere else on earth. The flashlight is almost beside the point. Almost. But let's take a look. ProBest. Never heard of them, but the packaging claims 5,000 lumens, which, questionable. But even with that claim, this still might be the absolute best bang for buck flashlight I've ever seen, and actually, it's not even close. Full metal body with USB Type-C charging, and beyond all that, there's 5 modes, all with a dead simple user interface of a single button. Press once for high, bright, but definitely not 5,000 lumens, maybe 1,000. A second press for low, a third press for a powerful strobe, a fourth for the barrel's panel light, and a fifth press for a blinking red signal light, and cycling it back to the regular torch mode, check it out. You can focus the beam by pulling and pushing. This truly is a very full-featured and well-built torch, but I did say it was also the best bang for buck. And heading back to when I bought it at LTC Glodok, you hear that? 85,000 IDR. That's literally less than $5 US. But again, it's not even about the sub $5 flashlight. It's about trade centers in Jakarta, the backbone of entrepreneurship in the city. And to me, it's the building I bought the flashlight at that's the real impressive thing. But since we're at LTC Glodok, let's walk the 10 minutes over to Gramedia, the undisputed oldest and biggest stationery and bookstore chain in Indonesia. But the specific location I'm bringing you to is the original first location. The age of the building is showing, and in fact the entire neighborhood is weathered, but it's because of that there's a real homey vibe. If you've been with me for a bit, you know I'm a pen person, but I am not here for something prestigious. I'm instead here for the pen that's been and continues to be in virtually every Indonesian student's backpack, on every office desk, in every kitchen's junk drawer in the country, and it's by Indonesia's own utilitarian pen brand, Standard Pen, and specifically the model AE7. I went with the red one because it felt fitting, with Indonesia's flag bearing red as well. And again, this right here is Indonesia's flagship pen through and through. And look, as you can see on the price sticker, 7,300 IDR, about 40 cents USD. This pen is made to be neglected and lost, but just as quickly picked up and used by someone else, and I love that. Yet with all this stuff, I of course need a sling bag to put it all in, so we'll head a few clicks south to one of the most well-known mega malls in the city, called Grand Indonesia. We're headed to a department store called Central, and they curate really well. And it's in the bag and luggage section that I found a sling from a brand I never heard of before. Bagasi, a homegrown brand, and specifically chose this one. This 7-liter super clean design with a smooth look and yet a great crinkle nylon hand feel in their desert tan colorway. And selfishly, it's also got so many exterior anchor points for an externally anchored fast access pouch. As for price, coming in at 649,000 IDR, about 35 USD. And speaking of price, putting everything in the kit in the frame, before doing the full price breakdown, I gotta say, looking at the custom Google map of all the locations, which, by the way, you can find a link to that custom map down in the description below, you can see that I pretty much only explored the very central corridor, only hopping slightly west on the start of both days, which means I didn't touch East Jakarta, I didn't touch North Jakarta, and even the areas I did go to, there are countless indie shops, traditional markets, huge malls, and trade centers I didn't explore because there's just way too much. But okay, back to the full kit. And since for most people, wristwatches and EDC knives aren't even a consideration, without those two items, we've got a kit cost here of just 1,815,300 IDR. Add the knife and we're at a hair over 4,300,000 IDR. That's right, the knife alone is more than the rest of the kit so far. And yet, adding the wristwatch, well, we're at 9,260 some odd thousand IDR, which means the watch by itself costs more than the rest combined, including that custom knife. But look, Jakarta, especially for unseasoned travelers, is exploration on hard mode. But as you saw, it's that very hard mode that reveals the most fascinating places and experiences. And it's why, despite being rough around the edges, Jakarta is the city I look forward to returning the most every single year. However, I also have to travel to Tokyo just as frequently for work too. And if you want to see this exact complete EDC kit challenge but in Tokyo, you will definitely want to watch this video right up here. If however you want to see more of the real Jakarta, this video down here is the one for you. I'll leave them both on screen for a few seconds so you can choose which one to watch next, but while you're deciding if you got value, consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you'll be notified the moment new videos just like this one drop.